Hello, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and NPD by somebody that has both. And don't forget to like and subscribe and do all the socially things. They're really very much appreciated. Thank you for everybody who's doing that. Okay, today's an easy one. I saw a post on Reddit and it was about somebody moaning about all the horrible things that his girlfriend has done to him. She was horrible, really horrible. She made him do all kinds of things like shout at her, and she made him get upset about how she was dressed, and she made him get upset about all kinds of things. I did not take well to this post. It was not a particular favourite of mine, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Let me get something straight. The defence of "look what you made me do" will not cut it. There's really no other way of putting that. There seems to be a bit of a problem that we have sometimes of blaming other people for all this shit going on, right? It can be easy to do, especially if you're in the NPD camp, because then you've got all this whole "I'm perfect, I'm doing nothing wrong, everything I'm doing makes sense, it's you that's the problem" thing kind of going on. I see where that comes from. I get it. But don't you dare. Don't you dare try and blame somebody else for this. They aren't doing this to you. They aren't winding you up. They aren't making you mad. They aren't pushing you to the limit. They aren't doing something just to get to you. You're not allowed to blame them. You're not allowed to say, "Look what you made me do." You did it. You decided to do it. You used what they were doing as an excuse to do the thing you felt like you wanted to do. That's what you did. They didn't make you do anything. Nobody can make you do things. Whatever your condition, whether you're mentally ill or not, nobody can make you do things. Okay, maybe if they've kidnapped a family member or something like that, then we can talk. But generally, on a normal life, day to day, not in a movie basis, nobody made you do anything. And I can't have any of you running around using this excuse. It's just so pathetic. "Look what you made me do. Look what you've done to me. How can you do this to me?" Nobody's done anything to you. You did this to yourself. I used to do this all the time, right? Someone has done something to me. They've done it to me. They've tried to get me. They've done this to me. And it's projection to start with, right? It's a whole bunch of things, right? You've got some catastrophizing going on. Well, I certainly have. The worst thing that could possibly happen is the thing that's going to happen. This person hates me. This person doesn't want anything more to do with me. This person wants to see me do badly in some way, shape, or form. Then we've got projection. This person's doing that to me because I'd do that to them. I'd treat somebody like this, so I expect somebody else to treat me like that. And then on top of that, you've got a whole load of shame going on, right? You know you've done wrong. You know you've treated somebody badly. You know you've made somebody cry. You know deep down inside that that thing really wasn't their fault, and you're angry at them. And so that brings with it shame, because you know you shouldn't be angry. And if you are angry at anybody, it's actually at yourself. And you bundle all of this up and you throw it on another person and you say the line, "Look what you made me do." If you'd not done that, then I wouldn't have had to get angry. You did all of this. No, they fucking didn't. Life's full of ups and downs, barriers, things that get in our way, things that trip us up when we least expect it. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. And yet we have to blame somebody. We can't just accept, "Well, that didn't work. I fucked up. Maybe the problem lies with me." We can't handle that. So we go to somebody else. and we get angry and we have to blame them. We have to come up with something. Maybe we throw a little bit of gaslighting in there as well, because you've got to get away with it somehow, because you're coming at an argument with nothing but bullshit. And so you have to blame somebody else. Look what you made me do. Let's go in hard and aggressive. Let's get him on the back foot. Let's trip him up a bit. Look what you made me do. What? I haven't done anything. You've done this. Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't talk to people like that. Can't treat people like that. That's not the way you get better. And it's not the way you have healthy relationships and friends and love and care and people who worry about you in your life. So you end up doing shitty things to people and then blaming them for it. So, what you have to try and do, that's a bit of an easy one. What you have to do, starting now, first of all, you don't get to blame anybody for anything else ever again. Maybe the obvious ones, don't come back at me with some... Of course, things happen in our lives that are other people's fault, but you know that's not what I'm talking about, so don't be pedantic about it. You've got to start looking at yourself first. Right? Start chipping away. You know you've got problems. You know you do this. So when you're getting angry, when you're on the verge of look what you made me do, you've got to pull it back. You've absolutely got to. And this is a do or do not. There is no try with this one, right? It can be really easy to do. Don't do it after the fact. That's much easier to avoid, right? If you've had an argument already and you're still stewing over something, you need to drop it right away. Just let it go. You don't have to win every argument. You don't have to be right absolutely every single time, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're right every time. You can be wrong. So let's just deal with that and accept that given the present state of affairs in our heads, it's probably us that are wrong. Because it's been us every other time, right? You can't be going and blaming somebody else. Always come to yourself first. What have I done wrong? Especially in anger. Mainly in anger. The rest of the time, you've got a lot of time to self-analyze and reflect and look at your behavior and judge your reactions and that kind of thing. Anger's a very in-the-minute, burning thing. It's very angry. And so it can be much more difficult to grab that back. That you need to start ahead of time by not getting angry in the first place. And that's a different video, kind of. But if you get angry, if you do something that is just shameful and unacceptable, you cannot blame somebody else. You don't get to do that anymore. I'm sorry. But the truth is, it's more often than not our fault, right? We reacted badly. We don't know the right way to react. Or we've got all those other problems. We've got the catastrophizing and the that self-belief that we can't be wrong. We absolutely can be wrong, especially when it comes to things that are very emotionally charged. We can be extraordinarily wrong. And so if you can't stop that anger in the first place, don't you dare be latching on to look what you made me do afterwards. Nobody made you do anything. And I don't care what that thing is you think they made you do. You've got to take that responsibility, because if you want to get better, if you want to have people in your life who want to be around you, if you want a happy existence, you cannot go for the rest of it blaming everybody else for your problems and your mistakes. Some things affect us harder than others. Some things are very difficult to deal with. But at the same time, you can't affect how others behave. You can only control how it affects you. And if you're going to just keep going off on one and saying, look, they made me do it. They got me so wound up, I had no choice but to lose my shit. Well, no, that's not going to work. There is no situation in which you have no choice but to lose your shit. Certainly not on a day-to-day basis. So you have to start looking for other excuses, because you don't get to use that one ever again. Look inside, because it might well be you, whatever it was. It was me, right? I've been there. I've spent a long time blaming somebody else in particular, and generally the world at large, for my problems, for things that were my issues. And it was really all of those things I just talked about. It was the projection and the catastrophizing and my own lack of self-worth and all of that just coming out and spewing onto other people, and I would blame them. Not necessarily with the sentence, look what you made me do, but the sentiment is there. You've done this to me. This is something that you have decided to evilly do to me. And the truth is, nobody's done that. Nobody ever. Really. Certainly not to us, right? So what's our problem? Can't blame somebody else for everything. You've got to start taking responsibility. You've got to start accepting your own blame. Because that's the only way you can get better, and it's the only way you can expect anybody to forgive you for anything you've ever done or said. You've got to have that change in behavior. Otherwise, you're just apologizing to somebody to make them shut up, right? I heard it said that apology without change behavior is manipulation. And to a certain extent, I think that's true. I think if you're just apologizing to somebody in a kind of, I'll say what I need to say in order to get you to shut up and leave me alone kind of way, you've got to say it and mean it and change that behavior and accept that responsibility. Accept that blame. It's very difficult. It's very hard. It's one of the hardest things you'll have to do on this recovery. Arguably the hardest. But you've got to do it, otherwise you're not going to get any better. And that sucks. And that's not what we're here for, right? We want to stop getting angry in the first place and stop blaming other people for our problems. We'll do stopping getting angry in another video. Oh, that'll be Monday. There you go, I'll make a note. Anyway, you take care. I'll see you later. Bye.